Hey, hi, how you doing? This is the Gamertron, and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. Am I biased? Maybe a little biased when it comes to comparing different types of media. Movies, books, television, video games. When comparing them, I'm a bit biased. You guys all know I'm in the video game ball field. I think they're the best, the greatest. They're the ones I prefer. They're the ones I keep coming back to. Video games. And while I certainly do have my loves for movies and television and a few novels, I am a video game fan. I am all about video games. I love them. I am passionate about them. I have a whole YouTube channel dedicated to them. I play them whenever I can, and make videos about them whenever I can. But you should all keep in mind that everything I say here is subjective. It's all personal. It's all opinion-based. My opinion, to be specific. And this is what I think. This is what I believe. And I believe that when it comes to video games do it best. Especially when it comes to creatures. Now, what do I mean by creatures? How do I specify or categorize a creature? Well, when I say creatures, I mean aliens, animals, monsters, demons, that sort of thing. You know what I'm talking about. You know where I'm coming from. And when I play video games that star these creatures, that star vampires and werewolves, aliens and mutants, demons and dragons, to me, video games do them the most justice. They do them the best. They perform them, bring them to life, bring them to the screen the best. I mean, I've watched movie after movie, television show after television show, that do severe injustice to these creatures. I recently finally finished watching the television show Supernatural, and while I did enjoy the show, I do like the show for its characters and story, I cannot lie, the show pisses me the hell off when it so poorly represents the monsters in the show. Demons, werewolves, vampires, and even dragons are all just people. They're all just people with a bit of makeup and special effects. I can't tell you how much that pisses me off. I come to this show that's about monsters and these monster hunters fighting the supernatural, yet all the supernatural stuff is just people. I got kind of the same reaction with the Underworld movies. A war between vampires and werewolves. Oh, that sounds awesome! You barely get to see them, and it's mostly people. Again. I mean, there's not even 10 minutes, not even 10 full minutes of seeing the werewolves in their full glory, or vampires in their true vampire form, sort of thing. It's always regular-looking human beings or people with makeup and special effects. And while I can safely say that almost everyone is a fan of Star Trek nowadays, I don't know anyone who dislikes Star Trek in this generation of media. And I can't express enough how depressing and disappointing that every single alien in the show is regular people with makeup on, and they all look like humans, just with different colored skin or a few dangly bits on their face. I want to see vampires and werewolves being vampires and werewolves. I want to see demons looking like horrific, hellish beasts. I want to see dragons being dragons in their full glory. I want to see aliens actually look like aliens, looking weird and out of this world. Yet, I can't find that in movies, television, and books. And when they do get it right, when movies, television, novels get it right, and they make their creatures actual creatures, you don't get to see much of them because of the budget and limitations of those forms of media. It costs vast amount of money to get those special effects working, to make those monsters come to life, and while they will and do look cool when you actually see them and show them, you get to see them and experience them and see these creatures come to life for such a little amount of time due to budget constraints. With a video game, you do not have that issue. Because once you create the creature, the character within the game, it doesn't get a predetermined amount of screen time. When you're fighting this creature as an enemy per se, you get to see it in action as it attacks you. You get to see the creature, see it come to life through animation, texture work, and sound design. You can take your time and admire the beast, or kill it as quickly as possible and examine the corpse. What I love the most, though, is when games have a bestiary of sorts that lets you read details about the creature, or have a detailed image and description of it. Some sort of journal, if you know what I mean. With movies, television, and a novel, everything is predetermined. But again, what I love so much about video games is that things can have completely random intervals, completely random numbers, completely random instances. The same thing goes with creatures in video games. The creatures are in the spotlight as much as you want them to be. And who doesn't like seeing something and seeing something come to life that is non-human? Since we see human beings every day, it's kind of a nice change of pace to see these weird and different creatures. I mean, why the hell do you think people watch the Discovery Channel or the Animal Channel? They want to learn about animals. They want to learn about things that are non-human. And the creatures we can create in video games are all sorts of fantastical. We've got the hellish, disturbing demons of doom. We've got the monstrous and mangled nuclear mutants of the Metro series. We've got the fascinating and unique aliens of Mass Effect, Crysis, Halo, Sanctum, and countless other sci-fi games. And there's something so appealing of seeing a unique, original, unearthly creature in a three-dimensional, unscripted form. Again, the problem with movie and television, the way they handle creatures, is that everything is predetermined. You're going to look at this creature in a certain way. You're going to see certain details, certain sides, certain aspects of this creature in one way and one way only. With video games, you get to see the creatures move. You get to see them in motion in several different ways. You get to see them walk, run, attack, jump, just idle about, scratch their ear or something like that. You get to see them from every shape and side, and from your choosing. It makes everything seem so much more alive, and it's so much more immersive. And like I said before, with video games, you can go outside the box. With creature designs, you can go out of this world crazy, because with video games you have so many unique premises and worlds and settings. You have so much to go off of, and so much originality to work from. The creatures can be cartoony and unrealistic in every way possible. They can be based off of something relatable and realistic, but still have their own original, different look. They can be unearthly, and yet still hold resemblance to other creatures or even people, but without the hindrance or the absolute immersion-breaking effect of obvious makeup or obvious add-ons of some sort, like with movies and television. And not just that, with some creatures in video games you can go to the extreme, the max amount of detail. With werewolves, vampires, dragons, aliens, demons, you can show the max amount of detail. You can show the wrinkles, the cracks in the skin, that sort of thing. With movies, television, and novels, there are always limitations. You don't get that with a video game, especially nowadays. So now, just for you, I'm going to give you some of my recommendations for if you're a creature freak, if you're into unique monsters and creatures such as myself, unique video game enemies, unique fauna and wildlife, that sort of thing, then I recommend these games to you. I recommend Fallout 3, I recommend Skyrim, I recommend Metro 2033, Metro Last Light, I recommend Castlevania Lords of Shadow and its sequel number 2, I recommend Dark Souls 1, I recommend Dark Souls 2, I recommend Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning. Hell, the next 10 minutes could just be games I recommend about. However, there's a point to be made here. Look how many games I can list off. Look how many games I can recommend for those of you who want to see creatures, aliens, demons, monsters. Look how many games I can recommend to you that show these creatures in their entirety and do them justice. I can't do that with a lot of movies on television and books. The few movies that come to mind, maybe Dragonheart for dragons, Van Helsing for old movie monsters, Star Wars and Star Trek, of course, I guess. I can absolutely recommend to you guys the movie Alien Planet, which is a documentary completely comprised of CG aliens, and documents and describes this fictional alien planet with a bunch of fictional aliens. It's a really, really good movie. I would show you clips from it, but YouTube copyright bullshit. But yeah, I think that's a video. So yeah, in my opinion, video games, they do it best. They do creatures the best. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe to my channel to support me and keep up to date with my upcoming content. But of course, most of all, leave a comment. Please leave a comment and let me know what you think of this video and the subject and of me. Please leave a comment. I love reading comments. So until the next video, I'll see you guys later.